I'm from the University of Sheffield. I'm an information specialist, and this is my talk, very brief. Is it on the screen? There we go. Teaching junior doctors the benefits and barriers of the social media. It's part of a thing that we run in my faculty called ILA Masterclasses, Inquiry-Based Learning Activity. It's voluntary, so I go and give around 15-20 hours of my time every year. I give 10 hours with the students. They're fourth year med students. So given I do a lot of work around scholarly communication, social media, I think it's good to go and have a chat with them and think about these kind of things. So I give them a brief overview in the week. I kind of tell them where we've got to, where we are, where we came from, because social media didn't appear from anywhere. It kind of comes off the back of Web 2.0. So I give them a little bit of a background as to the history, as to why where we are. One of the things that we do is that I get them to evaluate various guidelines, professional guidelines, Royal College of General Practitioners, General Medical Council, the British Medical Association, and we go through, and thankfully these are quite short, they're not overbearing, they're actually relatively use social media, but beware of the problems, and that's the kind of the attitude I take in the teaching with these students, who are, I'd say, are probably in their kind of mid-20s, 23, 24 years old. And what I get them to think about is patient ethics, because they're practicing, they're student doctors, they're out there, they are meeting patients, and I get them to think about the correct kind of relationship you have with patients, and get them to remember that they're in a position of authority, and that patients can quite often look up to them in a certain way. And some of these patients may have mental health problems, they go through a particularly bad patch of their life, and social media becomes a way that they can connect with their patients, and just get them to think about the issues of doing that. I get them to understand that patients do now talk about their treatment online a lot. Discussion forums have been happening for years. This is Patient Opinion, which was established in Sheffield, and it's a way to give feedback on patients' treatment. So it's another route into Pandora's box. So I get them to kind of think and assess what is out there, and if they felt inclined to reply, what they would do. Invariably just step away if they can in certain circumstances. This is an old, I don't remember who said this, I kind of think it was someone like Alexa Sarah, but it was like, why do doctors drink so much? It gives them something to do when they aren't smoking. And it's this idea that we think as student doctors and medical practitioners, they go out, they like to have a bit of a lash, they go around pushing beds around, drunk, kind of raising funds. And it's the idea that, don't drink and use social media. Think about your position, not only as a student, but as someone who will go into the community, who will be seen with such high esteem, and think about how you act. People in the NHS have been pulled up for how they've used Facebook, inappropriately. Doctors contacting patients, vice versa. It's not obviously exclusive to doctors, but I get them to think about these kind of issues as they start to go on. Because invariably, the feedback I get is that they are using social media, but they haven't really thought about this kind of issue. They've not thought about the professional setting. And just try and get them to think about various things, like when they're on ward, the use of smart devices. A way around this is, if you have a tablet, put on that this is a medical device, this is a learning device, various things that we do in our institution. Get them to think about how they do this, because there's more and more kind of developments around patients being contacted by their GPs and Skyping. There's issues around privacy, ethics, this stuff in the cloud. So again, it's to kind of send them on their way, thinking about all the implications of this. And also kind of teach them, because they're going to have patients who are going to come along saying, I've watched Embarrassing Bodies last night, I've got this off of Yahoo Answers. It's a big problem. This is something I wrote for The Conversation a year or two ago, how to avoid bogus information on the web, and try and get doctors to think about prescribing social or web sites that they can use that are authoritative, getting people to assess the information for themselves rather than just turning up and going, I've had a headache for 2 weeks, it's definitely a tumour. So it's this kind of way, again, making them understand that the world's very much changed, that patients are going to come to them with the stuff they found off the web, and at least they're still probably going to do it because the vast majority of people do access health information on the web, so at least get them to go away and point them in the right directions, get them to think about good useful, proper apps and good, useful, proper websites. Some of the feedback I've had from these, I've got a couple.
Finish up soon, all right?
I finished up soon. So this is some of the feedback I've had. Interesting topics facing the NHS in future years. They said it's not been covered in their course. They found it very relevant. They found it was good exposure to advances in the use of technology in the NHS. Interesting topics discussed through the ILA, which may become an integral part of working in the NHS. So I think the feedback's been excellent from the students. I've done 2 cohorts of 6 students, like I say, for 10 hours. So that was my little presentation. Thank you.
My name's Robert Mapp, and I am the Deputy Program Director at Birmingham City University for the nursing course.
And my name's Lisa Abbott. I'm Head of Department for Children and Young People's Health at Birmingham City University.
Okay, so increasing connectivity and building social capital at BC University. So we want to run through really quickly, 5 minutes, our creation of a Twitter page for our course, basically. To give you a quick overview, so we have roughly around 2,000 students on our course at any one time. We take 2 cohorts per year of around about 354 students, which obviously creates lots of students, lots of problems in terms of teaching sizes, and we have 4 different fields of nursing, and we teach across those fields as well. Basically, we decided to set up our Twitter page about 2 years ago in July 2015. And originally we had something called the Newly Qualified Day, which is the final day for our students on our course, and we have this member event called the Newly Qualified Day. And we wanted to set up the Twitter page just to try it, basically, to have some fun, create some pictures, have some vibes, and this is kind of what we started with. So initially we wanted to create more vibe on this day. And what we started doing was had a Twitter feed. We got students to tweet in final days with pictures, some selfies, some really positive activity. And what we ended up with was a really good vibe for the day, but we also ended up with some really good positive material that we could then advertise and use for the next cohorts. Lots of students were media savvy, so I can encourage you to do this, and some words we had to kind of go through students and encourage them to do this. Okay, engagement. So obviously every single university, the priority is to get students to engage. We wanted, when students do engage, it makes them more happy, it makes the program team more happy, and what we end up with is obviously positive students, very happy, taking part in the NSS and creating more vibe. Okay, one of our jobs then is to basically keep the retweets coming and retweeting out those students that are retweeting. Okay, hashtag belonging. So what we kind of found was over the last year of doing this, we ended up with students tweeting in, but basically tweeting in a sense of belonging and saying that they really enjoyed being part of the nursing course and being students at BCU.
Okay, on to me. Right, nursing news. So what we found was that depending on who you follow, whether it's Kim Kardashian or the Department of Health, it can actually keep you quite current with health issues locally, nationally and internationally. And what we've done is started to tweet those messages out to the students, and what we've actually found is students have engaged with that and they've been retweeting, and what we've developed is a little bit of a wider awareness of the nursing world for our students and sort of the health of the nation. And I don't think we could have generated that kind of engagement with those issues in any other way. The NMC's up there, that's the Nursing Midwifery Council is a council that all nurses are registered with, so we hold a PIN number with the Nursing Midwifery Council. That gives us personal and professional accountability as to how we conduct ourselves in public. So social media was a little bit scary for us, and I think it still is a little bit scary for us because it does just open another door. The NMC have developed their own guidance for social media, as Andy was talking about the GMC. In the same kind of way. So we point our students to that and we get them to understand that. We haven't made our own rules, they're the rules already.
1 minute.
Thank you. Okay, employability. Twitter has been really useful for us in terms of pointing students to our personal and professional development services, our career services, but what it also does is allow them to connect with their employers. When I say employers, I mean like a big trust, like for example Birmingham Children's Hospital or the Queen Elizabeth Hospital in Birmingham, big trusts that have big issues that promote their services out. So it allows the students to understand what are the key values or the key issues of that trust, which then helps them to have interview preparation. Moving on, increasing connectivity. Recently there was a report called Mind the Gap in West Midlands, which was all about researching the needs of nurses that are very early in their careers. It's all about retention, keeping them in the NHS, keeping them working. And what it did, it looked through a generational lens, and it found that the Generation Y, the 1980 to 1994, that age group are around 26. If you don't give them lots of feedback, if you don't give them lots of recognition, they might well leave the NHS. So we think that Twitter helps us to do that. The little well done's, good idea, good thinking, and we've used Twitter in a very nurturing way because of that. Generation Z, who are 21 at the moment, they're what we're dealing with at the moment. One of the quotes from the Mind the Gap report was, connectivity is important as breathing. So that just shows how important it is for them to be connected. And very, very finally, well, we're here today, we're learning more, we want to learn more. This started out as a bit of fun and it turned into something quite special. We've got 1,250 followers at the moment. As I said, that's quite good, but it's a big job for us to maintain that page. So we're learning now to sort of do a bit more, and we would like to do a bit of research as well. Thank you very much.
Hi, I'm Chris. I teach editing on a film media production course. What that means is I don't get out much, so you'll have to forgive me if I get overexcited.
Hi, I'm Luke. We're both from Sheffield Hallam University, if we didn't say that. I work for a scheme here called the Venture Matrix, and we essentially embed work-related learning opportunities across the university, and about 70 modules up to about 3,500 students last year.
Thanks. I'm in charge of a first-year module, a skills module, where the students have to pursue and develop their filmmaking skills across a wide range of formats. What we decided to do a couple of years ago was embed employability more in that module, and what that meant was that we're going out to local businesses and we're asking the students to make work specifically for the online profiles of those businesses, which is where Luke comes in.
Yeah, so we knew Chris from a previous module we worked with. Chris came to us with the idea of doing viral videos for local businesses and charities, and basically pitched it to us. Do you think organisations would be interested in that sort of thing? And as ever, we sort of positively approached it and went, yeah, let's give it a go. So the first year we run with 4 organisations, and we're on the 3rd year starting in January. So we've done 4 each year, and this year we're doing 5. And we've had over 50% of them return year on year, so something's working.
It's a bit of a head change for a lot of our students because they aspire to make movies or TV shows. There is a lot of work in making online video work, as I'm sure you're aware, but the students come to us wanting to make Captain America 4, which is a good thing, that's a good ambition. So it really stretches them from understanding where their skills can be used and understanding the way in which the creative industries are constantly developing. The main thing about all of the work that they do is, because we want it to have viral ability, which isn't a word, is that they have fun and that the audience has fun. It also has got to look, following some of the rules of viral video, as if anybody could make it. So here's one that the students made earlier.
Yeah, so the organisations we've got involved year on year, because it's quite a nice thing, we've tried to get charities and social enterprise involved where possible, just because the production cost of doing something like this is quite a lot. So yeah, we've tried to really benefit the community, and okay, these are some of the people we've worked with.
Thanks. The externals examiner loves it, so that's a thumbs up. For the employability and for the forward-lookingness of it. And the students gave us nothing but positive feedback about working with the clients. It's group work, so there was negative feedback. It wasn't all good, but mainly it was positive. And we can send you links to more of the videos if you wish. We can't show you the really cool Star Wars Lego video.
Cool. There's a poster outside as well with QR codes to some of the videos as well if you're interested in taking a look. Thank you.
Thank you.
You got the time?
It's around 7.
What? Sorry about that. I had to pick up this camera. But how did you... Do you have a MasterCard? Keep up.
Okay, I think I should start by saying that I am proudly a geek. This presentation is just a consequence of my last year experience with my first year undergrads using WhatsApp to engage them in one module. So the first question I make myself to do, what can I make to embrace such a lovely forum like you? And this is what I prepared. I'll go back to, because so quickly and the slides, but I think you have a first shot of what we did, of what I did with my colleague. And basically I will start with a really brief framework, and then I will follow through the proposal. So as you can see, and many authors said, positive student and teacher relationships are at the heart of both teacher and student successful development. Currently, we are experienced with different uses of social media to enrich this relationship between students and teachers and lecturers. So, but our daily routine often lacks the opportunities to make meaningful interpersonal exchange with our students. So, for that reason, the purpose of this work was to describe, and I'm going to describe for you in the last 3 minutes, what I did to describe my experience using WhatsApp with my first year undergrads. 2 minutes. Yeah, it's enough. So I think you all know that WhatsApp is really lots of people around the world are using this app. In Spain, it's the leading app, also ahead of Snapchat, that is really trendy in the last 2 years. So basically I use WhatsApp. We have a class group using WhatsApp. So all the students are in this group, and I share them a pre-lecture communication. So 10 minutes before the lecture, I share with them a thought-provoking question or one image or something like that to make them, to introduce the lecture I'm going to deliver 10 minutes before. And then in lecture, we also use the app for in-lecture communication between me and the students. So you can have here, I share with them a video, a short video. And this is what they are. Look at them, they are really focused on the video I send to them. It's just a short video, just 3 minutes. And then this is to introduce a debate later. But they really like, because this is they use their earpods and their phones. And also, I use after lecture communication. Mostly, I posted some highlights, and I always give them affective feedback. Go ahead, you can do it, and that kind of message. And the rules: respect, writing, correct writing. No communication in late hours. In Spain, we go to bed really late. So just trying to share good stuff. In long lecture days, just to share links, also tweets, reminder, news, and learning tips. I would say this is the best activity that I do. This is the happy hour every Wednesday from 10 to 11. We have 10 to 11, yes. In Spain, we go to bed really late. And this is the time where the students are finished to have dinner and then go to the couch and sitting to watch TV. So I want them to engage with me in an informal learning. So they post different questions about the weekly assignments. And that's all. I could say that this experience is 1 year ago, and actually the class group is still alive. So we have still communications, and yeah, they are really involved. And yeah, one year later, this is still alive. My colleague is delighted to work in this university. 300 sunny days per year. Yes, that's true. 300, like. And I'm delighted to work in Limerick University.
Hi, I'm Jessica. I'm giving this presentation on behalf of Helen Clough, who couldn't be here today. But I'm from the Open University Library, and I'm going to talk about how the library has been using Facebook Live events for teaching in real time. The OU is the largest academic institution in the UK with about 170,000 students. About 100,000 of those are on Facebook, and they're increasingly using it in small closed groups to support each other, give each other student tips and advice. A bit about the library. We've been offering live online learning events since 2007. So we've been using webinars, live stream, Facebook, and this month we ran our first Facebook Live event. Alright, so yeah, we choose our topic based on inquiries that come into the help desk, a lot about referencing, and then we create a page on Facebook. All the discussion will happen on that page, our event page. We promote it as widely as we can to all of our channels. And then about a week before the event, we start reminding students that it's coming up by posting in the event page. This keeps it kind of high on their news feed. And we encourage students to use the interested and going options for the event. This helps us decide how many moderators we're going to need for the event, but also, like I said, keeps it high up on their news feed. We do plan for the events, but the students can ask anything, so we just try and keep a few kind of tips or tricks up our sleeve, like some pre-prepared text that we can just flip into conversations. So during the event, it's usually a slow build-up. We like to start with some kind of an icebreaker, so the moderators will introduce themselves or send a picture of where they're working, try and start a conversation and remind students that they're talking to real people. We do kind of have a plan. We post about 2 or 3 discussion prompts throughout the session, about 20-30 minutes apart. As students comment or you tagged in something, we will get notifications, but you also have to keep refreshing the page to make sure you're seeing all the latest conversations. So that can be a bit chaotic. That's why we've got a few moderators in on the event. And we also make use of nesting comments and tagging people to point them to the right places in the discussions. Behind the scenes, we also have Messenger open so that all the librarians can message each other, and everybody's got each other's cell phone numbers. And we have one moderator who's overseeing the whole event. So they're keeping the librarians to time, but they're also pointing students to different discussion threads. So in this example, a student asked the question, what is referencing? And Helen replied with a very official response. But in the discussion, there were students talking to each other about what they were studying, and this led to 2 students agreeing to private message each other after the session. Being a distance learner can be a very isolating experience, so this is really what we would like to try and encourage. A lot of the time the students are just looking for some kind of confirmation that they're on the right track from either other students or from staff.
1 minute.
All right. After the event, we mop up the comments, reply to anything that we may have missed, and evaluate what went right, what went wrong, and what we could do better next time. We leave these events up on our Facebook page. They often get a lot more traction after the event has occurred than during the event. So students can go and check out what we talked about. And this month, like I said, we did our first Facebook Live video. So this is Helen doing Facebook Live. We just had a cell phone on a tripod filming Helen and one other colleague who was relaying the questions to her. And we created a quick 40-second trailer to promote the event, which we had up on YouTube. Thanks very much. These events are on our Facebook page, so you're welcome to go and check them out or join them when we run the next one. But yeah, thank you.
So hello, I'm a senior lecturer in the events team here at Sheffield University, and I thought I'd share my experience of using Twitter polls to help kind of revision for a mock quiz, so like using the poll function as a mock quiz to help first year students. I come from industry basically, so I've been teaching for 3 years, so I've got my own events company, so I see students kind of very much at employability right. I'm an employability tutor, I do a lot of work with them in terms of their professionalism. And also, I love Twitter. I do a lot of blogs for Eventbrite, which I got contacted through Twitter, so I kind of see value of having a professional profile. And I make a point of following students when I see them on social media. I saw this tweet, and it kind of made me think, some students just don't realise they're kind of publishing, when they tweet, they're making things public. So I kind of wanted to make a point of saying, look, think about yourself in a professional context. So I kind of started about professionalism, but the more I've kind of used it and developed it over the last few years, I think it definitely encourages active learning. And I really focused on this idea about recapping topics, and I started really trying to get a sort of chat going, like Twitter chats, but the first year students particularly weren't really interested in that. So I kind of reflected on why that was, and I think they didn't really want to sort of look like they were tweeting to as part of the course. I think they see it very much as a friends thing. So I thought, well, okay, how can I develop? I still want to use it. So it's back in, which we'll skip over. So we had it's the first test basically when we were at university. It's back in November. It was a multiple choice test. We gave 4 events that we had to go and study, and it's like a multiple choice test. And we were all panicking about what types of questions. So we thought, well, why don't we run a sort of mock poll on Twitter, mock quiz using that Twitter poll function. So this is the account that I run, Sure Events Chats. So the chats didn't really take off. It's really difficult. I'm looking forward to the session after this week, because that's about LTHE chats, isn't it? Because it's really hard to get students engaged and actually tweeting. But I thought, well, the Twitter poll, that allows them to still actively participate, but not actually publish anything. Because when you vote on Twitter, it doesn't show up in your feed. So I thought that's what I quite liked about it. So yeah, starting with it, sure, let's chat. So just that simply, when you compose a tweet, so you know, what do you think of this? That's the button you press, it brings up that kind of function. I'm sure you all know this, but sort of, you know, I actually did this, I actually tweeted this, and people started saying, the next one, so you drive an easy one, basically, I'm fast asleep, and some actually put I'm fast asleep. Tweet it, so dead simple, really, and then you just kind of click it, and you know, I think for the student point, it's that kind of dead simple, interactive, the participating, so it's active, but it's not necessarily tweeting into the public. So yeah, that's the result. So these are the task questions. So as I say, you know, it's about Tour de France, one of the events. So you know, it's like Tour de France, you know, this kind of stuff. And then crucially, use the hashtag IAI face test because you know after the Twitter session, left it running over the weekend, and on the Monday it kind of closed, and I pulled it all together into a Storify. Which if you weren't on Twitter, so all the students who weren't on Twitter, so to avoid kind of complaints. Allowed them to kind of read the tweets and see the answers, things like that. So I think the Storify is quite a key part of it, really. So it doesn't exclude anybody from taking part.
1 minute.
Okay. So I'll skip through this because it's not interesting. What some of it is. So this, yeah. So what they all knew about it, crucially. How did you take part? Most of them didn't actually take part. It's kind of a third. Took part by voting, a third read the questions on Twitter, and a third, or a quarter kind of thing, read the Storify link after, so they did engage with it, and it was kind of a lot more than I thought, really. This one particularly, 82% said they found it useful or extremely useful. I mean, I was hoping sort of 30 or 40%, so I was actually genuinely quite surprised by that. You know, most of the 46 responses out of 67 on the course, on the module, so I was genuinely quite pleased with that. And yeah, this one, what do you think of the use of Twitter? Should we keep doing it? That's kind of resounding, 80% said yes, keep doing it. So positive stuff, it was good for them to see what type of questions would come up. Fun way to learn, they could do it in their own time, they could do it, you know, in bed or on the bus or something. And the Storify allowed them to do questions afterwards. The main issue, just said quickly, was they couldn't find out how to write straight away, because obviously it's like a popular vote. So if everybody got the answer wrong, then it looks wrong, kind of thing. And that's it. So good way to learn, but you know, you have to kind of do the other stuff as well.
Yeah.